আপনারা দেখছেন টকিং পয়েন্ট, সৌজন্যে স্যাপ সলিসিটরস, যে কোনো আইনি পরামর্শের জন্য।
Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking to our distinguished guest today, Kishor Khan, about the Songlines Festival 2015. Kishor,
yes,
this word fusion always intrigues me, particularly when related to music. How does it work in kind of Western music and Bangladeshi or Eastern music?
Fusion is a very misjudged word. I think, like maybe it first came out in the late 60s, 70s, and was really relating to jazz and rock fusion. There was a certain type of music. For me as a musician, I see a lot of these genres as just labels. I see music as music, and yes, you have different languages. And I see fusion as something incredibly natural in music. I see it there in all musics. And what we consider pure today, if you actually look into the history, at some point it's a fusion of things. I'll give you some simple examples. The harmonium is associated with our folk music, but the harmonium is not an Asian instrument. It's a Germanic, it's a European instrument. Sarod.
The name suggests,
And just look at the mechanism.
Yes.
The sarod is not an Indian instrument, it's an Iranian instrument. Let me give you other examples. Tagore. There's a lot of people have a very purist approach to Tagore. It makes no sense to me. It's wonderful to have respect and to try and not lose the essence, but different people's interpretations of the essence are different. And Tagore, for me, is one of the original fusion artists. If you look at many of his songs, he used to compose on the piano. He used to take songs, melodies from Scottish church music, from Scandinavian music. So, and this is not taking, this is what all artists do. You are all influenced by everything around you. So just because I come from one place, if I go somewhere new, I'm not going to close my eyes. If I take someone to Bangladesh, I would be really upset if they didn't try Bangla food. Just because you're from London, it doesn't mean you eat fish and chips your whole life. And so I see music as the same thing, and you see these fusions naturally. You see it in the orchestration. And so therefore it makes you think, what is fusion music? It's been going on for years. So I see actually homogeneous music where there's different elements not being fused as a very, very rare thing, which makes you look at the evolution of music very differently. Some people don't like the idea of fusion because it feels it changes something. I personally don't have a problem. I understand why people will have a passion for something and don't like if it suddenly changes.
But you think it doesn't change the nature of the music?
Well, I think it's always open to interpretation. And it really depends whether you've heard the original interpretation, the original song. I'll give you another example. A lot of the time songs are sung or made famous not by the writer.
By the singer.
Yes, sometimes the writer themselves are not good singers. Now, whose interpretation is more valid? They're both. It's really a question of taste. And so I think fusion is important. It's just, it's misjudged. The word itself is misjudged. It's there, it's surrounding music.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the explanation. Let's go back to this Songlines Encounters Festival 2015. Why do you think this world stage or world music stage is important to Bangladeshi music?
I think it's important in many, many ways. It's hugely important to the music industry there. It's important to the industry here. Bangladeshi is doing any music connected to our traditional musics. It's important for many, many reasons. Let's look outside the musicians. Let's look at for Bangladesh. It is a proven thing that if you want to show off your culture abroad, there's some simple ways that are tried and tested and work very effectively. Music is one. So let's take a country like Cuba.
Right.
Or let's take a country like Brazil. Brazil has similar problems to Bangladesh. It has problems of corruption, it has problems within politics, it has problems where there's a big divide between rich and poor.
Mm-hmm.
When you ask someone here, what's your association with Brazil? They will say samba, they will say football, they will say the beach. They're all positive associations. America has been doing this for years.
Right.
America, right from the 50s, would send jazz musicians around the world to try and promote the American image.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a great tool. France is doing it. Britain puts huge amounts of money, sending artists abroad. So it's something that we need to get into in Bangladesh, not just at a political level, but at a with private business getting behind this. They will find business doors opening up to them in a way. From a music point of view, it's just as important. With technology, physical sales of CDs are going down and down. With piracy, things are becoming tougher. So the way musicians in Bangladesh and Bangladeshi musicians here make money from music is getting tougher and tougher.
Right.
So the broader your audience, the more likely you will have a chance of making a living as a musician. So there are many reasons why it's important.
Right. Going back to this upcoming concert, see, Lokitera and Kishor, I believe, have together developed the lyrics and the musical composition for the show. Is that right?
Nuzrul Islam is the band leader of Kishor. So he would have done all the arrangements for that band. Right. I've just helped in the recording of the album. Right. So what you hear on the CD...
You are the producer.
I'm just producing the CD. But that is Nuzrul Islam's band. Yeah. And he put together the band, he chose the music. Yep. In Lok Kitara, then I'm the band leader, and I will choose what songs to do. And what
Tell us more about this band, because they're not here.
Yes.
Kishor.
Well, Kishor, for me, is a little...
Kishor means roots.
Means roots. And they're called the Kishor Bangladesh All-Stars. They're just... This band has really been our attempt to try and make the world a bit more aware about Bangladeshi music. And we haven't used any Western instruments. The most Western it gets is the harmonium, but there's no keyboards, no bass, no guitars. We focus on 3 singers. So Bangladesh has such a rich tradition in music. We could have done 10 albums on each one of the composers and still just got started. So we didn't want to go down a library route. I want everyone to enjoy this CD, not just Bangladeshis, but non-Bangladeshis as well. So we just chose songs that all the musicians loved. And we weren't, like particularly choosy. It's a little bit biased towards Lalon, but we have an Abdul Karim track there. We've got Poet Jalal's track. And Nuzrul chose 3 singers. One, Baul, because it's important to show off the Baul tradition from Bangladesh. Right. And it's particularly relevant. Lyrically, it's incredibly strong, and it's so relevant to people outside Bangladesh, his lyrics.
Right, I believe that they are from that particular area of Bangladesh.
Lalon is from, Rob is from Kushtia, yes. So it was important for us to feature Baul. He's chosen a folk singer called Baby Akhtar, who also is his wife, but she's one of the emerging folk talents in Dhaka. Incredible swing. I mean, as soon as we heard her many years ago, we really wanted to do a collaboration with both these singers. And someone else we've all been collaborating with is a young singer called Labik Kamal Gorob. And Nuzrul wanted to have one representation of the younger generation to show how our folk traditions are still alive. I know people love their rock and they love their dance music, but our folk music is so rich. And I hope when people listen to the Kishor album, they'll be able to hear it in its pure form and still enjoy it as much as they would enjoy what is called fusion.
Well, thank you for letting us play the
Thank you
music.
for giving me the opportunity. No. And I hope to see you all at the
we will still have time to talk about it a little bit. How can we make your kind of music more popular and attract more young people to do the same, because it can promote our culture?
I think the best thing to do is initially make people aware of how much is already going on, and get people to actually go and see. Seeing live music of any form is very different to watching MTV, and I would always encourage it. Not just live music, live dance, live literature, plays. The arts can be very expressive. And let your taste guide you. So I think in that way, as the older generation, we can always encourage the younger generation not just to get involved, but go and see things.
Yeah, but the guide, the taste is their guide, you see, but there is no institution that can guide them.
Well, sometimes there's many institutions in London and all around the UK which are trying to promote the concept of exploration.
Right.
So why is Kishor coming to this gig? The world music scene, songlines are saying, look, explore the world around you, explore the music from the world around you. And that's how you're getting non-Bangladeshis going to this gig. The same is true of every community. So not just check out the history of your music, but check out the history of your neighbor's music. You know, I think that's how we get younger people involved.
Would you like to share something in regard to this upcoming concert with our viewers?
Well, I think we have a historic concert. I think Kishor Bangladesh All Stars will be performing, and they will be, as far as I know, really the first purely Bangladeshi group putting themselves on the world music map. So this is something we all should get behind and encourage and support them. And then my band Lokitara will be doing a more of a London collaboration with them. So it shows how open these folk musicians are as well. And I know it's going to be a great show. So I really encourage people.
Well, it's also great that Songlines have taken up this.
Yes, well,
project.
Songlines is the main world music magazine. There was an article on Kishor and what we're doing with them last month. So you will have people from Australia to America reading about Bangladeshi music and what Bangladeshi musicians are doing.
Kishor Khan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure having you.
Pleasure to be here.
Be seated, because when we have the commercial break, after the commercial break, the third segment, we are going to have your
another great producer.
Another colleague from your band and another great producer, Tanzai Omar.
Tanzai Omar, yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
আপনারা দেখছেন টকিং পয়েন্ট, সৌজন্যে স্যাপ সলিসিটরস, যে কোনো আইনি পরামর্শের জন্য।